Just cut her off. Just like that, Jane.
No goodbye,
3, 2, 1,
nothing.
boom, red button. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. You?
I'm alright, thank you very much.
You're all tangled up now because you've
I'm
just gone.
tangled, I'm covered in thread, I'm in my comfies because it's not my show, it's your show.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go and sit down and get comfy in a minute. And also I've been doing school run and animals and this, that and the other.
All the crazy things.
And then I looked at the time and went,
Oops.
comfies it is then. That's all good. Good morning to you. It is Textile Tuesday and my goodness what textiles we have for you today. Jane, you have, well, last week you were off on Wednesday.
Yes.
We let you out
We did.
for the day.
I went and escaped.
On the promise that you would come back.
Yes.
Yes, which you have, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And you went on a quilting course.
Yes, I did.
Not that any of us think that Jane needs to go on a quilting course, but Jane took herself off on a quilting course. Did you get it for your birthday or something?
Yes, Glenn bought it me for my birthday, and then I was poorly and had to cancel, and that was rescheduled.
Yes. Yes,
So,
yes. So, you'd made this quilt for us for last
Yes.
week, and then you practised on
I
it.
took the opportunity to play on it.
So if you look on Facebook, you'll see a detailed video of Jane basically going, haha, look what I've done, as you absolutely should, because it's beautiful. Now, I did a quilt last week,
Yes, you did.
and I just did straight quilting, because that is my ability, and that's
But
it.
they look gorgeous.
And you know
And the
what?
lady that you gave it to loved it.
She did. She stopped me yesterday, and she said, I didn't know what to say at the time because I was so overwhelmed,
Yeah.
but I absolutely love it, and I will treasure it forever. And I said, I did that English thing of going, oh, well, yes, but there, like, the quilting's not great on it, and the binding's a bit wobbly, and she just was like, I will treasure it forever.
Yeah.
Why do we
She's not
anyway,
a quilter. She doesn't care that
She
the
doesn't care.
binding's a bit wobbly.
No, but then she says that her daughter's doing textiles at university. I'm like, no, no.
So she hasn't made her a quilt.
That. So, quilts. We're talking heirloom quilts today. I think. That's my take on
Yeah.
today. So today
It's
we
a-
have got...
It's actually a very simple pattern.
doesn't look it.
No, and the quilting's enhanced that to make it look more.
Gorgeous.
But you don't have to go mad like I've done with the quilting. You can just quilt round the shapes and you'll still get a lovely effect.
Do you know what we've got on Friday deals?
You've got those lovely quilt rulers. haven't
We've
you?
got-
Well, they're not quilting rulers. To make that clear, they're not quilting rulers. They don't go on your machine. They're to draw around for you to then quilt
But
on the line.
you can also hold them down and use the edge with a free motion foot.
You have to be careful with that because it might go underneath your foot and crack your and break your needle. So you just have
You
to.
hold it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you do have to be careful
Yeah, yeah.
because they're not actually quilting rulers. Quilting rulers are a lot deeper.
What I would do with it is use some of our erasable pens, and on the back I would draw, and then I
Yes.
would just follow that line.
Follow the line because it
And
gives
then
you
it's-
lovely
Yes.
lines to follow, and you can play with the shapes to make
Yes.
different shapes, which is what
Exactly
I was
that.
learning on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So, so they're coming up on your Friday deals. Watch out for that today. Now, let's talk about the fabric in this quilt. Well, firstly, the design. Perfect if you've got a panel or a large piece of fabric you don't want to cut into,
Yes,
which
'Cause
is what's
sometimes-
happened
yeah.
with this as well.
because you've got
Various.
This is just beautiful fabric, and really, if you started chopping that into squares, you'd lose the effect.
You wouldn't get the
And,
appreciation of
You
it.
know, we've got case in our stash, haven't we?
Yeah.
That would lend themselves beautifully to this style of quilt
Exactly.
as well.
So, or we've also had a request for baby quilts, things like that. If you have got
Yeah,
something like that,
panels.
look out for the rabbit fabric that we've got. We've got them as half meter heavens tomorrow.
Lovely.
Perfect for little one makes and Easter makes. But this fabric here, this is all Liberty fabric. The pattern is all Liberty fabric. So here's the deal for you today. You ready for this, Jane?
Yeah, I know about this. It's just amazing.
If you buy the front, now there's 3.5 meters of Liberty on the front,
Yes.
and then there's extra bits of plain in there.
Yeah.
If you buy the front, and they're £7 off the front, by the way, just as a deal anyway.
Wow.
We will give you 3 meters for the backing for £10, and that 3 meters is 3 meters of Liberty fabric,
Yes.
so that you can back your Liberty quilt in Liberty, and it will be one of the Liberty fabrics from the front on the back.
Fabulous. That is an amazing deal.
3 meters for a tenner, and
That's
you're already
lovely.
getting a discount on the front.
Yeah. And the way I've done it, because the pattern's directional, you've got a lot more
than
you actually need.
So that means you've got enough for cushions, you've got enough for accessories. Maybe you're going to, you know those seats I got off FaceBay?
Yes.
You could upholster
seat
with
covers.
those, beautiful, and add, so you'd have that whole Liberty effect in your room. That means that you are getting nearly 9 metres of fabric, or just over 9 metres of fabric, 6.5 metres of which is Liberty.
Yeah.
I think it's $89.99.
Yeah.
Should have been $145.
It's amazing, but it's just such a bargain, isn't true?
Now, I know there will be some people that will buy this that will never make the quilt, that they just want a lot of Liberty.
Yes.
And that's fine. We're not quilt police. We're not going to know. Pattern isn't in there. You always buy the pattern separately, because I know that we have people that buy multiples.
Yes.
And especially if they've got... This seems to be the thing, isn't it? If they've got children and they make for one, then they make for the other.
That's it. Well, we have to, don't we?
Exactly.
Yes.
In which case... And this is why we've never put the pattern in. We always sell the pattern separately, because you don't want that extra expensive a pattern twice.
No.
We've never done it. We've always done it. And that was just something I learnt from Sewing Quarter. That was the one criticism that always came, is why do you always put the pattern in? And they always used to charge their patterns out, no matter how simple, at $9.99.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing that I took. I was like, well, that's an easy fix that we can do.
Yeah.
Is not put unnecessary paperwork in there. So if you want the pattern for this, you can buy the pattern for this. But the fabric alone is... There's such a save. It's over £50 saving.
And it's beautiful. I love the freshness of this. I showed it to Glenn and he said, oh, that's spring-like.
Yes.
And it was just like,
now on top of
fresh.
That, if you want to top up with other colours from the same collection, we've got pinks, we've got blues, and we've got yellows as half-metre trios, and they're on basically a 3 for 2.
Yeah.
I can't bring you better than that.
No. And
like, I really rummage around to find you the best deals.
Yeah.
And that is the best deal that I can possibly bring you. Let me talk as well. If you can just give me a little idea of interest. Jane, the other day I had a big whoopsie moment. And I need a fresh new one.
Yes.
So I rang my supplier. I said, I need one of those. She said, Tash, they've discontinued them. I went, what?
Why?
Because Joann's has gone bust in the States.
Yes.
And June Taylor sell into, so they are streamlining what they sell, and this has not made it.
No.
Which means
it's such a shame
that there are 21 left at June Taylor in the States that now have our name on it. I'm like, I want them all.
I want them all, yeah.
That's it. So they are earmarked for Natasha Makes and for Natasha Makes only.
Fabulous.
So we will be the only people in this country getting any new stock in. When they are gone, they are gone. If you would like one of these, I feel like we're succession planning on cutting mats, Jane. It's kind of what I feel. So obviously I'm going to keep a couple for myself.
Yes.
For now and the future.
Mm-hmm.
And this will go into the warehouse, and we will do our 20-inch mark on there for our scissors, and this will replace the one in there, and then we'll get the new mat in. If you are interested in this mat has been on here for years, hasn't it?
Yes.
And you think of the amount of cutting that I do.
Yeah.
You can see here there are cut marks.
Yes.
This mat is not a self-healing one. This is where these different, and I really, really love them, because they come up to meet the fabric, and the cut sound you get.
Yes, it's a lovely crisp, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
And so the cut that you get is just fantastic, and I absolutely love this mat, which is why I was devastated when they said no more. So if you are interested in this mat, please just pop a note in the comments and just lodge your interest, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're really, I mean, if you've got the space for them, I mean, not all of us have the room, do we?
But if you can
invest in one of these, they're worth having, because they will last for a long time.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do a lot of cutting. This is where I do all my prep, is in here, on this mat. And we have another one of these in the warehouse where we do all the cutting for you guys. And that's, again, we've had
and
that.
I do quite a bit of my prep on that mat as well, because sometimes I just need the space.
Yeah. So these are the ones that we would recommend. And June Taylor, what are you thinking? This looks a bit menacing, doesn't it? Let me show you this. So when we did Izzy's bag,
Yes.
and by the way, happy birthday to Izzy. I think I said happy birthday yesterday anyway for her birthday because she is a big 21 adult in America now as well as here.
Yes.
This is Izzy bag, and we had brown straps.
Yes. Beautiful.
Look what I've got in.
Oh, navy ones.
Navy straps. So if you are someone that made the most of all of our deals yesterday, the navy just goes with everything, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I've got 4 of these coming so far. I am expecting some more, but they appear to be coming in dribs and drabs.
That's
But
nice
when they
of them.
when they do arrive, so I've got 4 in stock now. 4 arrived yesterday. If you'd like these handles, they are up for sale on the website. That's all I can say really on that, Jane. Right, shall we show everybody these kits whilst I say hello to everybody as well? We also launched today brand new Carolyn Gavin. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Fabrics as well, which will show. There's a lot going on today, isn't there, Jen? I feel exhausted before we've even started. Let's show you the kit then here. This is the only fabric that we've got available cut to order by the half metre.
Yes.
What little we've got left after we've done these kits. It's lovely, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's a lovely piece of fabric.
If you have ever been, it's like it's those follies, isn't it? Those ornamental gardens with follies and
Yes.
oh, ping. That's Gemma. What does she want? Lots of interest in the mats. Are they the largest size? Yes, they are the largest size. They are the size. So they haven't discontinued.
Yeah, they're 35 by 23. So
yeah, they haven't discontinued the other sizes. They've just discontinued the largest one, presumably because not that many people want the expense. They haven't seen. I mean, we get asked about these a lot.
yes, we do, and they are really good mats.
They're brilliant mats. So yeah, that's why. Right. Okay. So this is the kit. Jane, talk us through the kit. This is your bit.
Yeah, you've got 1/2 metre of this beautiful focal fabric,
Lovely.
which is.
I thought we were giving a
follies.
fat quarter, so I'm amazed that's coming as half.
Yeah, because you won't use all of it. You'll use You'll use a fat quarter. So, but we priced it on a 1/2 metre.
Did we?
Yeah.
So there it is.
You've
Whoops.
got 1/2 metre of ivory. Now this is a Macawa texture, linen texture.
That's pretty.
Just the right shade of lemon colour. This is Liberty, 1/2 metre. This is really pretty. I can't remember what this one's called. Oh yeah, Darling Daisies. Isn't that a lovely name? Darling Daisies.
Lemon and blue, always a winner.
Then you've got 3/4 metre of the peacocks, and you've got 3/4 metre so that you can cut it directionally and not have to join your borders. So you've got a goodly chunk in there. You've got 1 1/4 metres of the green, because I've used that for the
works,
frames.
doesn't it?
This is
Lovely.
apple. This is our plain apple. And then you've got, and again, more than you actually need, of the Jardinières. It's 1.75 metres.
Now that's because this is the directional one, and Jane has done this so that it does go across direct. You don't have planters that have been knocked over by the wind, basically, is what you're telling us.
Yeah, I was a bit decadent, I suppose, with your fabric.
That's all right, Jane. You're welcome. Why not?
When you've got a directional fabric, sometimes if you can cut it parallel with the selvage for like vertical borders.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yes.
Which actually means you get a really big chunk left over,
Yes.
which I used. I'm going to show you the back of mine. This is Liberty on the back. I used my chunk, sizable chunk,
Hang on a minute.
for the middle of my quilt.
Just got to change that round.
Change it round. You can see it at the back of the quilt.
Now
And I
you
have
won't
it
have
on-
to if you're paying your extra tenner.
No,
you'll have your 3
because you'll
meters.
have the 3 metres. But you can see how much.
Yeah. You
So
had-
cushion fronts, cushions to match, pillow slips, whatever you want to make with it.
This is a one-time only deal on the Liberty, because it's insane.
Yeah.
Jane keeps saying to me, really?
I
Yeah.
can't quite believe it.
Yeah, yeah. I've worked my magic,
Amazing.
and managed to get something rather fabulous. Lots of people asking about the cutting mats. Let me get a date. They're not available yet. They're just being shipped. Let me just check with my supplier when they're likely to be in, and then as long as you're happy to wait, because the shipping containers are taking a while from America. There's a backlog on docking
Yes.
at the moment.
they're
That's what the
holding them
delay is
back
with the cork as well. That was meant to be in January. So thank you for anybody that's waiting for a little bit of cork. We were told it would be in at the start of January. They're now saying mid-March because the shipping containers keep being sent away. They're not docking. So I'm cautious about loading these cutting mats. I know they're coming, and I know they're coming for us.
Yes.
That's not in question, but it's got to come from America and it'll come on a ship. And I don't know, in terms of docking, when that'll be, because that's where
That's what
there
holding
is...
everything up. Yeah.
I don't know why. But that is the thing. Jane, can we have a little close-up on that? On
the peacocks.
Yes, because I love the peacock. Oh, look, I mean, let me get in the way of it. Look at him.
He's
He is
lovely.
majestic and fabulous.
And there's little spots here in all the colours that blend in with the rest of the fabrics.
I love that.
You can see how the
Oh.
colour palette.
Well, you could have done, but I just changed
I'm
the camera.
sorry.
Hang on, no, it's okay. I'm coming back. There we are.
Colour palette is just that lovely golden yellow with the limey green and the
It's fresh.
citrusy. It is
Zesty, Jane.
It is zesty.
Zesty. Just as an aside, because we've just shown those, we did a fat quarter bundle of all 9 of the different colourways, but if I just show you these are available as trios, half-metre trios, where you get a half metre for free. So we've got one in the yellow, but this isn't in the quilt, is it?
No.
So that's the yellow, so you can get that as a trio. You can get it as a fat quarter with all 9.
Yes.
Which would be a quilt in its own right, wouldn't it, Jane?
Absolutely.
Or, look, I did those bibs out of this, and it was just beautiful. Look, there you've got the planters in the pink.
You see, you've got that little bit of pink in that one as well.
Because it's from the same collection,
Yeah.
you're
So
safe
it all-
to use it, aren't you?
Yeah, it all blends in.
So that's the pink version there. I had this out on the side for something, and someone was like, "Oh, that's so pretty."
It is pretty, the pink one.
And then the blue.
I love the blue. It's like Delft pottery.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? And there's your peacocks in the blue. You see, so you can mix them up because there's blue in that peacock there as well.
Yeah.
And that's why we bundled it, because they're all from the same collection and it works really, really beautifully. So if you want those as a fat quarter bundle, it's on a very nice price. But if you'd like 3 half metres, you're only paying for 2.
Fabulous.
And again here, 3 half metres, only paying for 2. 3 half metres, only paying for 2. So actually, if you bought all 3 of those, you'd be getting that for free.
That's amazing.
When you put it like that, that's insane,
Yes,
isn't it?
it's crazy. I think you've gone quite mad.
Yes, possibly, Jane. But and I just think these are absolutely gorgeous. Make and sell. Even if you just do bibs, right? Even if you just did bibs and put them on in your Etsy shop, or just gifted them, or did whatever, the minute that anybody has a new baby, suddenly you're gifting Liberty bibs. At
Absolutely gorgeous.
not very much money, and we still have some of those brushed cotton in the pastels.
Yes.
Which back those
Which would look
beautifully.
lovely with those.
Now, Jane, this is not the only option colour-wise today, do we?
No, because we've had this lovely collection of Carolyn Gavin
Do you want
fabrics.
to? Shall we show
Let's show
the quilt bundle first, or the 14?
Let's show the 14 fabrics. The panel's hanging up behind me. There's a big panel. It's a double panel. I don't know if you can just
Yeah,
see
no,
it.
they can see. Yeah, because I was asked about that on a Zoom the other day. What is this loveliness?
It's gorgeous. It's got a lovely border that you could leave on, or you could use it somewhere else.
And so you
And
get
it's
2 of those.
double-sided. You get
Yeah.
2 of those per panel. So that's a 36-inch, like a yard for because it's from America.
So we only have 7 of those double panels.
Yes.
But if you wanted to then do something like this, these are the fabrics that go with.
This is so pretty.
It's very unusual for me. I don't actually remember ordering it, Jane, if I'm completely honest.
I said, didn't I, when it came in, I was like, did you order this? Because these are not your kind, in my mind, they're not your kind of fabric.
And yeah, I really
they're
love
my
them.
kind of fabrics. I think they're delicious.
Especially I love.
You
They're
There are certain ones that you absolutely adore, aren't there? And then others you're like, really?
Well, no, I'm just surprised that I bought them all because it
Yes.
wouldn't, not only because they don't necessarily show up well on camera, and that is always
These spots and little flowers are giving me Hungry Caterpillar vibes. So if you've got a Hungry Caterpillar panel, they would blend in beautifully.
these are all available
gorgeous.
by the half metre. And I was saying to
2, 4,
Gemma.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I think Gemma's loaded it as a 14 long quarter bundle, hasn't she?
But last week when we did the bag, the big box bag,
Yeah.
we sold out of this stripe.
Yes.
Now in here you have got some very interesting stripes,
Yeah.
and these are available by the half metre as well.
Yeah.
You'd need a half metre for the bag,
Lots
but
of-
the spots would be phenomenal. Just imagine opening all all of them.
Yeah, the florals. I mean, that inside there look
Gorgeous,
nice.
absolutely stunning. I love this one too. As a quick aside, by the way,
Yes.
these bags on the Friday deal, 35% off, by the way. Half a metre of cork. The handles and rivets are in with this as well.
Oh wow, that's
Half a
good.
metre of fabric, half a metre of your heat and bond. We don't sell it by the half metre.
No.
It's been put in this kit. 35% off. I've got it in that colourway or this colourway.
I love them both, but I really love this one because it's got the little fairies hiding amongst the fruit. The pomegranates are there.
I'm not sure.
Gorgeous.
I'm not sure, but
They're pretty.
they're there and you can have them with 35% off. They're the two colourways that we had left to do in any kind of number because the rest of that deal kind of went. So Gemma's messaged me, Jen. Let me see what Gemma said because there we go. She keeps pinging all over the place. Is it good for a confident beginner, the new quilt?
Yes.
Yes, there you go, Chris, you're fine. Tanya's here. Good morning, lovely quilt. Good morning, comma, lovely quilt. No, she's not saying good morning to the quilt. Cynthia says, greetings, straight quilting with my walking foot is my jam. There you go, yeah. Looking at a used long arm tomorrow. Well, that's how Jane started.
Yeah,
Not look back.
mine's not. Mine's third hand. It's not actually
Yeah.
second hand even.
Derbyshire dies with us. She said, morning all. Beautiful day here in Derbyshire. Cold, but that's fine. Yes. Auntie Liz is here. Good morning. Yeah, Cynthia says, I have a small panel that would work wonderfully in that quilt. We all have those, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's very sad about Joanne's fabrics. And Kate would be interested in a June tailor mat. Gemma adores, and she's put that in shouty capitals, adores the impressionist style of the delphiniums and the riot of colour. Only 5 of the large delphinium panels left.
Oh wow.
Right, because they are available by themselves. Then you can get the long quarter bundle. If you want to do today's quilt,
Yes.
we've only got 5 bundles of it.
Oh,
We do
right.
have 5 kits
Okay.
for today's quilt, if you would like them.
Yeah.
I feel like
Because
there's
there's
been a lot
another
of housekeeping this morning.
there's another panel, and I'll show you that because
Stamps.
I've used the stamps
Yes.
panel, which is smaller than the big one behind us, and I'll show you in a minute.
Did I show you this, Jane?
I saw it on because we've got our group website. I saw that and I had a little look and I was like, oh, that's clever.
Do you want to see what it does?
Yeah, go on.
Very, very quickly. Right, for those of you that are quilting, I feel like we have the right audience today.
Making your binding.
Woohoo! Yeah. I was going to bind my quilt at the weekend with it, and then obviously ran out of time.
Do you want a 2.5 inch strip?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Ooh. Does it? Oh, you'll have to
I'll undo it.
Okay.
After, doesn't matter.
binding, 1/4 binding,
Yeah.
2.5 inch
use
strip.
for our quilting. That's
Exactly. So you just have to fold over the first bit
gorgeous. Yeah.
in half, right there. It's got an arrow. I did this and completely ignored the arrow the other day. It's got rollers. This is from the people that bring us magic pins, Jane.
Oh right.
So they really know their stuff.
I do.
There is a 2.25 inch one, I think, but obviously nobody does that, do they? And so, you know, normally with the bias binder makers, you put it through and then you have to press it.
Yes.
No, because those rollers,
Press it for you.
yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. That saves so much time.
it's 20 odd quid. Well, I've taken 20% off as an introductory price,
Yeah.
but that's going to save you so much time, and it only feeds it through correctly. As long as you fold it in half
Yes,
when you start,
it's not going to move.
I'll have that on an introductory price for this week, and then it's got to go back up to like 25 odd quid. But it's one of those things, when you've got it, you've got it.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of technology in there and rolly bits and this, that, and it's really nicely put together. And if my incredible demo was not enough for you, there's a QR code that you can
Fabulous.
scan with your phone. So I just, look at that, you're going to have to.
Yeah, that's a really good crease.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's brilliant.
I'm going to go and shut up and sit in the corner.
Okay.
Behave myself quietly. Well, I mean, I'm going to sit in the corner.
I'm going to sit in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the colours in this bundle. It's just really vibrant.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a hot summer one
Yes.
and a springtime zesty one.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how I feel our vibe is today, Jane.
Now this is the stamps panel, and we're giving it you in a 22-inch, which is 55 centimetre increment. So you get effectively that. We will cut it between this area here. So there's actually 10 of these stamps.
Oh, nice. We only have, however, 3 of the panel duos left.
Right.
Just saying.
Wow. So in the quilt for this, the colourway, now this fabric's not directional that we've chosen, so you get slightly less quantity,
Right.
but you've got enough to make the quilt.
But there's also not the massive discount on this,
No.
because I can't discount this at all.
So I've chosen the colours based on the stamp panel. Tash helped me with some of these because I was
There
just
was
like,
so
there's
much
so
to
much
choose
colour
from.
to choose from. And I've gone with the pinks, the cerise pink and the mustardy yellow in there. But there's creams, there's pale pinks, there's blues, there's oranges, terracottas, sagey greens. You could mix and match, can't even speak this morning, your tones.
Jane, can we just talk about that mustardy fabric?
Yes, this is gorgeous, this
Right.
fabric.
We normally use Rose and Hubble planes.
Yes.
And our one gripe with them is that they do not have a mustard colour.
No.
They don't. We've got gold,
Yes.
but it's not mustard.
No,
It's gold.
it's cool.
And so I've had to go elsewhere, Jane.
Yes, you did.
And this is the one that I've found.
Now, I love this plane, but it's a different weave to our planes.
Yeah.
It's slightly, not looser, but coarser.
Yes.
It's got a heavier weight to it, and it's more like dressmaking plain, and it
it's a wider
works beautifully.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I could see palazzo pants and tops and things made out of this fabric. It's just beautiful, but it's wider because it's dressmaking width. It's 56, is it?
Yeah. But it is still 100% cotton.
It's gorgeous. It almost linen-y.
Yeah.
It sews beautifully.
So when I had the Liberty rep in the other day, and we were looking at, because Liberty brings in this mustard colour all the time, and I said I can't match that colour apart from, and then I went and brought this bolt out, and he said, oh well, I've got 365 of the Kaufman planes, there's got to be one in there, and he went through, he said, oh my god, you're right.
It's a
There
really hard colour to
Isn't
match.
that colour?
Yeah.
I went, and here it is, ta-da!
Ta-da!
He's like, where did you get that from? Like, trade secret. I'm not telling you, because I'm nice like that. So yeah, that is.
Yeah. So I've gone with that lovely, and it's our pomegranate
Oh, nice.
and this
They
mustard.
work well together.
Look how gorgeous that is with that. Now for the background, which I've used ivory in the quilt, that the sample I've made, I've chosen navy, because you might look at that and you might think it's black, but it's not actually.
No.
It's more not navy, midnight, and that blends beautifully. There's a slight colour difference, but because you've got the blue in here, it sits nicely. And then this one I've thought for the outside border, because again, you've got all of that going on. It just matches it, and it's got in the background, it's got that midnighty black colour. And then one of the Freedom, which is part of the collection, which is the blue, and the lovely soft lilac-y colour in there. And then a stripe, because who doesn't love a striped border?
We all do, Jane.
And I'm going to show you how I've used these fabrics in the quilt. It's going to be the same quilt, but it's going to look so different. But that's the bundle.
That's the joy of
using
quilting.
this. And I'm going to show you, this is the full half, well it's not half, it's more than half a metre. It's 55 centimetres, it's 22 inches of the stamp. I've joined it together to make it into a piece of fabric. Now you will have seams in there, but once you've quilted over that, they're not going to notice so much. It's very much a frame quilt. You quite often see frame quilts in the earlier quilts where they've literally taken a piece of fabric, framed it with another one, put a wider border, framed it again, put another wide border, framed it again. So I've chosen to do 2 pieced borders and then the framing. I've taken the stamp panel and I've cut 4 of the stamps.
Hang on, but you get 10.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got.
So you're going to
to
have this, you're going to have, because I've already done this, you're going to have all of that left over to make matching cushions.
Nice.
Another quilt if you wanted to. You'd have to buy more fabric, but you could make another quilt. I have chosen to seam that. It's quite a deep seam, and I'm going to show you what I did. I seamed it there, cut that seam open, and then I folded it, oops, and seamed it here. So I brought the 4 panels together, and it becomes one piece of fabric. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to get all of this fabric up here and make a big pile because it's all in a jumble. So I framed that then with the pomegranate. You can see the seam at this point, you can see that there, but when that's in the quilt and I've quilted over it, or you've quilted over it, you won't see it. There's actually 2 extra seams in here because I miscut my fabric. But again, it doesn't matter, it's a sample.
Nobody knows.
And you can see, you can hardly see them really. And I could have made that, I could have brought that in even more, because I think I've still got some of the border in on that bit. But I've trimmed that to the size. Now, obviously with a framed quilt, my pattern is specific sizes because I've worked it out with the piece borders and everything else. But with a frame quilt, your piece in the middle dictates the size of your framing.
Yeah.
You just have to be, if you're going to do a piece border, my piece border is worked out on a 4-inch square. So obviously you need to be able to divisible by 4.
With the seam allowance.
Yeah. So you just have to think about that. But frame quilts are really quick and really straightforward to make. And you don't have to do piece borders. You could just do lots of different borders with the different fabrics. If you bought your long quarter bundle, you could have really good fun making just frames all around the panel of different widths.
Yeah.
You know.
I would do a plain and then a wide.
Yeah.
Well, this is a thin plain again.
This is finished at 1 inch. It's just a very simple border, just to frame that piece of fabric. The other borders are wider, and again the width of that was taken on the width of the pattern of the peacocks with seam allowance.
Yeah.
So again, your fabric can dictate the width of your pattern. And because I chose to have a 4-inch pieced block, everything is divisible by 4. So I could have gone for a wider outside border, but I would have probably made that 8 inches if I was going wider, because it's twice the size of my pieced border.
Yeah.
It's sort of about balance, and that's something that if you're going to do a 3-inch border, then your outside border could be 6 inches. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to go with the pattern of your fabric.
Yes, of course.
But you've got plenty to play with.
We like having plenty to play with,
Well,
Jane. That's our favourite.
That's the thing to do, isn't it?
Do you know what? I just love today's show. But I do.
Yes.
Because to be able to bring you gorgeous new designs there,
Yeah.
to bring you classic Liberty at insane prices, to make it affordable for, quite frankly, everybody.
Yeah.
Whether you're just going for 3.5 meters and only paying for 2, or whether you're going for what you effectively get by the time you take into account the discount on the quilt as well.
Yeah.
You get nearly 3 meters Liberty for free.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It's crazy, and
With
why would
lots
you
left
want to
over.
miss out on that?
When it's gone, it's gone.
Yes.
I can't do that again, by the way.
No. Well, not if you want to carry on in business. You
Well,
can't.
no.
Right, so the framing. I've sewn side and side, top and bottom. And I tend to keep that pattern, side and side, top and bottom, all the way through. There is one exception, and I'll explain why I did it the way I did it when we get there.
Why you did what you did.
Why I did what I did. Now the pieced border, little flowers. That's the block. You make that in the 2 colourways, it's the plains that go into the pieced border. So when I found my squares that I've already cut, here we go, we'll make the other colourway of that border. And what I'll do is I've got I think I've worked it out enough for the demo that we can do just 2 sides, so you get the effect of what it would look like, because I want you to see how this will look compared to the one behind us.
Right, got it.
So you've got little squares and slightly bigger little squares.
Wow! Jane has got all the words
today.
Little squares and slightly bigger little squares.
This is the main fabric. This is what creates the petal. Then you've got your background fabric, and then you've got your centre fabric. So these 2 you cut alternate, so that you've got alternate flowers. It's all in the pattern, all the measurements are in the pattern, everything is in there that you need. We're just going to mark the diagonal line on these small squares from corner to corner, start in the middle, mark outwards. Do the
Cynthia
same.
says that she's managed to get hold of some Liberty London Tana lawn for blouses, so she's thrilled. But she said that because she's in Ohio,
Yes.
she says that all the Liberty quilting cotton she orders here is from Riley Blake, which I don't understand.
It's probably they've got the franchise, haven't they? Yeah.
In America.
Yeah.
For us here, we get it directly from Italy, where it's woven and printed. That's where our Liberty comes from.
Yeah.
And it's coming directly out of Italy, which is weird for very, very iconically UK branded business, but at least it's still in
obviously
Europe.
where it's printed and made, isn't it? Because even some of the, I think it's Lewis and Irene, I think they still get theirs printed and made in either Korea or Thailand, because that's where the
mills are.
The mills and everything are these days.
Absolutely.
So I'm just marking the diagonal on the background fabric, and I'm using a white marker obviously on the dark so I can see it.
Oh, Jane. Another Friday deal thing to watch out for.
Yeah.
You know my pencil with the really long, thin,
Yes.
that's perfect for rulers?
This one.
Yeah. That, Jane, is in your Friday deals with different coloured leads.
Oh, amazing.
So that if you are
Marking on the dark fabric, you've got the colour. Fabulous.
Yeah. So again, watch out for your Friday deals.
That's really good.
I keep finding weird and wonderful things.
It's lovely. It's lovely because you bring something new each time, something that people may not have thought about, which is lovely.
It's one of my favourite things to do. I love the shopping aspect of my job.
You're very good at it.
Well, I keep one of them.
We're going to place, coming overhead, we're going to place one of the little squares in the corner of our larger square with the diagonal line running across the corner, and we're going to sew on the line. And we can chain piece this, we can place them all on the corner. At this point it doesn't matter which corner, because ultimately it's all the same thing, as long as the line runs across the corner. I tend to place mine in the top right hand corner because I'm right handed, but I don't think it matters at this point which corner it goes in. And we're going to sew on the line, and we can, as I say, we can chain piece that. Oh, it helps if your machine's switched off.
Oh, Jane, you want everything. Look at you.
Of course you can pin these if that makes you feel more comfortable to pin. And then we're going to trim a 1/4 inch away from that sewn line. And while we're trimming, we can cut through the piece of connecting thread as well.
Jane, I changed my needle when I was quilting, and then I changed my needle in this machine as well the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared that and just reminded everyone you need to change your needle, and also because it was the last of my 100 needles.
What?
I know, out of my, and so I felt a little bit proud that actually means I do change my needle on the regular. And then I suddenly thought, ooh, rotary cutter blades.
Yes, they're changing just as much as your needle.
We do still have some of those 10 packs.
Oh,
that were on
fabulous.
insane prices. I don't know if Gemma knows that we've got them and that they are loaded, but we do have, 10 packs. They're Teflon, no, they're titanium coated.
Yes, they're supposed to be longer endurance. Now that means longer endurance cutting. It still means you've got to be careful you don't try and cut over a pin or anything
loaded,
like
Jane.
that.
I'm going to go and count them and load them. Are you happy there?
Yes.
Do you need, are you about
No,
to
if you
sew
keep me
anything?
overhead, we'll be fine. Because
Okay.
even if I sew, it's not going to...
I'll be back in a second, Jane. Just suddenly dawned on me, are they actually loaded? They're not, so no wonder no one could buy them.
No, well, it's difficult to buy if they're not on the
Makes it
website.
harder.
So we've trimmed that off 1/4 inch away from the sewn line, trimming the corner away. And we've pressed that back now to reform the square. Now, I said earlier, didn't I, it doesn't matter when we're putting these on which corner we choose. But now, you need to make sure that you're putting your next square in the corner underneath the triangle. And this square is slightly bigger, and it's going to go overlap over the top of the tiny square. It's not going to be 1/4 inch. You're going to lose that. You're going to lose that, and that's part of the effect of the petal. When you come to make the block, so don't worry and think, hang on, that's not 1/4 inch overlap. We don't need it to be 1/4 inch, and in fact we don't want it, so we get that petal effect. But you just need to make sure it's in the bottom, underneath that first triangle. And again, you want the diagonal line from, it's not the middle, but from the middle down to the corner, so you're sewing across the corner of that, of the square underneath. And again, we can chain piece that. Sewing on the marked line. Across the corner. So there we go, you've got those, and we're going to trim that corner away again, 1/4 inch from that sewn line.
I've got 5, Jane. 5 packs of 10.
Wow.
I've just added them to stock.
Isn't that strange? They must have dropped off somehow.
I over-ordered, Jane, and then forgot to tell anyone that had come in. It's helpful, isn't it? I'm going to pop a quick link in here on the Facebook pages as well for you. There you go.
We cut those corners off, 1/4 inch away from that seamed line, and then we're going to press those back to reform the square. Now obviously be careful, there's small pieces and you're working on a diagonal, so it might be an idea just to finger press it so that it's pushed back as far as you can on that seam, and then just give it a little sit on the top with the iron, rather than try and press it with your iron, because that's when your square can become distorted. So literally just sit your iron on, add a bit of pressure, enough to put that together. So now we're going to join these squares together. We're going to join them together in pairs. Now you want to have the one square so that it sort of forms an arrow, is facing towards the right hand side, and then the next one is facing upwards with your two contrasting colour triangles facing each other. So the background fabric, one faces down and one faces up and away. And you're going to sew them all together like that in pairs. You may want to put a little pin in along the seam line there just to keep those edges together. If I was clever, I would think about it and I would press one lot with the seam towards the main fabric and the other half with it pressed away, and then I would be able to nestle my seams. But you don't think about that until after you've pressed everything and sewn over the seam, and it won't fold back. So popping a pin in along the seam is another good way of making sure that they're lined up nicely together. So we're sewing down this side here because we're joining what are the two contrasting smaller triangles together. And again, once you've got these done, you can chain piece all of this. I always say, don't I, make one block just so that you're familiar with the technique, and then you can go on and make all of the blocks all together, and you can do as much chain piecing as is feasible.
Sorry about the pinging in the background. I'm just chatting to our Tuesday mat supplier and going, how long are we? They've missed this shipment. They're definitely the biggest mats.
And so we're going to press that now. I'm pressing it this way because I've got that long seam there, rather than pressing it up that way and you've got all of these seams going on. And because they're all the same orientation and I'm pressing the seam all to that longer seam there, when I come to join these now together to make this, and you're aiming to get like a little square of your contrast colour in the middle, when you line those up, you've got them pressed in opposite directions. And you can see here, we started with almost like an arrow shape. There was a nice point there, but when we join them together, we've lost that point, and we aim to lose that point in this in this block. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the whole point, and it gives it that sort of petal effect. And then we're going to join those two pairs together.
It's so different, isn't it, in this colourway?
It's going to be really bold.
Absolute beauty of it. The yellow one, I think, especially with the peacocks, is if you want to give a quilt for, I know we had someone saying, oh, for little ones.
Yes.
I think for a neutral gender quilt.
Yes.
Gorgeous. That the mum will love too.
Yes, that's true.
That's the other thing with that. And then lots of fabric left over to make accessories that mum will like. So whether you do a changing mat bag.
Yes. Or a nappy sack or
any of those things.
Yes. Cushion for the nursery chair. Oh, it's still over.
So, sorry. Safely do You can safely do all of that, can't you?
Yeah, we can do the twiddle in the middle with this, just to reduce some of that bulk in the middle. You've still got quite a lot of bulk here where the seams are, but it does reduce that bit in the middle. So you will have these 2 blocks now. You're going to join those into pairs, and again, because of the way it goes, that seam there nestles as well, so they join together. For the top and bottom, you want to then join 2 pairs together into 4. And then for the side blocks, you need to leave 2, one of each colour wave flower unsewn into pairs. It's all in the instructions.
Of course it is, Jane. Your instructions are so thorough. And this is the interesting thing, like sometimes we will make quilts by other designers. And to start off with, we did that quite a lot, didn't we?
Yes.
And then what we suddenly started to realise is that even Jane, with her wealth of experience and knowledge, was sometimes struggling with deciphering other people's patterns because they were so scant. And so that's something that we always make sure we never do.
Yeah.
Which is a very weird way of wording it, and a bit clumsy. We don't do that.
No.
It's what we say. We don't do that. We make sure that even if it means that there are 35 steps with a photo for every single step, your hand is held.
I think it's important because sometimes that can be the first pattern you pick up.
You never know which is going to be the first.
Yeah, and it's like if there's an assumption made that you know things, then you're going to get lost, aren't you? If you don't know things. So
as they say, to assume makes an ass out of you and me, which is the only way that I know how to spell it. But there we go.
So for the top and bottom, you're going to join 2 pairs together to make a row of 4.
Oh, that looks fabulous.
And you'll sew that to the top and bottom of your framed panel. For the side panels, you're going to sew 3 pairs together. Is it 3 pairs? Yes, it's 3 pairs. And you'll have, as I said, you'll have 1 of each block left over. Okay. Now what happens is, on one row you're going to add a yellow one to the top, and on the other row you're going to add a pink to the bottom. This so ensures that you will have that continuous flow of alternate flowers around your frame. So that's the first border, that's the first piece to border.
Before we do the second border, Jane,
I
would like to ask the audience a question. My question is, my supplier thinks that these cutting mats will be here by the end of April.
Right.
So I've got over a month and a half, nearly 2 months to wait for these.
Yeah.
Would you like to secure yours and buy it now?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to wait until closer to the time? Now, if you're watching now and you know about it, then you can get it done now and you can sit back and watch.
Yes.
Otherwise, you've got to watch every show and make sure.
Mm-hmm. And watch out for the newsletter and keep an eye out.
So I'm happy to put up most of them on a pre-order.
Yeah.
And hold back a few for those that missed the show or whatever, or haven't been paid yet, or all the stuff that we get.
All the things that happen. Yeah.
But that's the question. Would you like that, or do you want to wait until you know that they are here and they can come to you the next day? That's the question, because if so, then we can put them on. Sylv says, "Why are you getting a new mat? I've become rather fond of the bunny on the cutting mat."
It does look a bunny. Oh, bless.
Anne says, "I think you should get an artist to flesh the bunny out into a pen and ink tattoo for the mat." Can we have a memorial bunny design when you give him the boot? He won't be. He's not be. I'm not having a bunny tattoo. And incidentally, this will go into the warehouse. It's not going to be thrown away. We don't throw stuff away here. We reuse, reimagine, and
everything's used until it's literally falling apart here.
Yeah,
including us.
Oh,
That's the next border in my head. In my head, this is the next border that goes on. You might decide you don't want to do that with
That's
your
a bit
fabric,
fabulous.
but doesn't that look super?
Oh, I love it.
Right, then we go to another pieced border.
Okay, come on, then, Jane.
After
Piece
you've got
me up.
over that wonderfulness there. You just make sure I've got the right fabric.
I don't know what people are saying. I think they've got a bit. Can you remember a tip Easter Bunny make? We've made Easter Bunny makes. We've made the Peekaboo Bunny basket.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we're introducing our, I think it's called follow fabric. I don't know, but it plays like a spot for me, which I quite like.
It does.
And
a
we
spot
use,
with interest.
yeah, and we're using that yellow again.
Nice.
I keep bringing that mustard through.
Well, what we've got it, Jane. We're gonna use it. Be proud of it.
I love it. I love mustard. I love mustard and navy. So this midnight and this mustard is just.
You know, every time that you say midnight, Gemma is quietly
Singing.
at home going, "Let the Oasis." Oh no, she's got Oasis today.
Oh yeah.
She's already sent me a message with midnight in bold capital letters. At the Oasis. Sing your camel to bed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, you know, when you actually look at the words.
some lyrics, they're just like, what? What are
Were
you saying?
you on drugs when you wrote that? That's just a question that I want to ask
Yeah.
regularly. Here we go, Jane.
So we've got a large square. We're going to make quarter square triangle. I'll show you it helps if I show you what we're making, doesn't it really?
And obviously absolutely nobody has answered the question of whether they would like to buy and secure their mat today.
No.
They've just talked about bunny tattoos.
Bunny
so
tattoos
I haven't had a
and-
sensible answer from anyone, Jane.
Absolutely
at all,
not.
Which isn't helpful.
No.
Not even remotely.
So this is the block we're making, and we make two colourways. They're made in the same way, but you can see slightly different. Makes sense. There's a slightly larger square because we're making quarter square triangles, and you know, talk about it all the time. Formula for quarter square triangles is add 1 1/4 inches to your
Yeah.
finished size. Your
We
finished size,
We just follow your pattern, Jane.
and
We
Half-
don't do that.
half square triangles, which is the triangle, the larger triangle, 7/8 of an inch. So we're going to do quarter square triangles. I've got the plain and the pattern fabric on top of each other because, you know, let's save ourselves time here and cut them both at the same time. If you've got a nice new blade on your rotary cutter, you should be able to cut through at least 4, 6 layers of fabric in one go.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
Yeah. I obviously need a new one.
Do you want one? I've got.
There we go.
I've
I
got
think
50
I
sitting
think
in
I
the
got
warehouse.
over a groove there. Into a
Um,
groove. We're going to place these right sides together. We want to create a triangle shape, and we want it with our contrast, our pattern fabric on the right hand side with the peak of the triangle facing upwards. That's our background fabric, this is our pattern fabric. So we're going to sew those together into pairs, and again you can chain piece this, you'll get them done really quickly. For this demonstration purposes I don't need those 2 pieces for now. You will find, hold on, yeah, you will find that you have some spare quarter square triangles left over that you don't need because of the amount of 3/4 units you need for the border.
I'm just enjoying this trial.
It's rather lovely, isn't it?
It's a really interesting mix, this. And actually, I really love that you've got the floral centre and then the flowers in the border around it. Like, that just makes me really happy.
Yeah, I think when I was doing the design, because this was sort of a floral, I sort of mirrored the flowers,
That's
and then
beautiful.
it works really well for this as well.
If you go to Warwick Castle, they've got the peacocks there by the orangery. And that's sort of what it reminds me of. I think that Warwick Castle could do with a few more follies, if I'm honest. But they do have, obviously, the very beautiful orangery,
Yeah.
which they've now given a bit of to cost the coffee.
Oh.
Which is fine, because I just sometimes take the kids down there and we just
Sit and have a nice
go
coffee.
and sit and have a piece of lemon cake
Lovely.
and watch the world go by, which is worth anyone's Merlin pass.
Absolutely. So the slightly smaller the contrast or the pattern, depending on which block you're making, again, it all explained clearer in the pattern than my gabbling now. Cut in half across one diagonal to make half square triangles. And we're going to sew that onto that long side of those two pieces to recreate the square. And again, great opportunity for chain piecing. It's a nice weekend make this. I mean, I know I took longer because I was playing with my quilting. But if I had done straightforward, straight line quilting around each frame and a little bit around the shapes in the borders, I'd have got this finished, in 2 days.
Really?
Yeah, because frame quilts they're nice. They're nice, a nice quick way of creating a large project.
Yeah.
Because you're basically just sewing around and around again, aren't you, when you're doing a frame. I'm just pressing these now, and again, just carefully, literally just pressing it down on the top, just so that I don't, because you've got quite a lot of biased edges here. And these are called 3 triangle units. And you'll do the same again with using your pattern fabric. So you've got your contrast yellow there and your pattern on this side, like so. And what we're going to do now to create that sort of, it almost looked like brickwork to me, that board, that's this second border.
Yes,
almost like
the
bricks.
paved
The block
bits.
paving. You simply take your 2 3 triangle units and you place them next to each other so that the same fabric is against it.
Yeah.
And again, join them together in pairs with the patterned fabrics.
You know when you do uphold houses and you rip up the carpet and you hope for something nice underneath?
Yeah, and you reveal a
And
nice
more
parquet
expense.
floor. Yeah, or a nice
in the
tile.
warehouse, you know the parquet floor that we've got
Yeah.
there? Exactly that.
Yeah, it was
ripped
covered,
up,
wasn't it, with a
hideous,
sort of
mothy
colour
carpet.
pit, yeah. I did it in one of my houses once. I lifted the horrible whole carpet and there were mint and tiles underneath.
Oh, Jane, I meant to tell you. Mum and I went to Bodmin Cinema to
Yes.
watch the new Bridget Jones.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I laughed, I cried, I didn't know what to do with myself. But I took photos of the floor of the cinema. It's an old church or a chapel or something.
Yeah.
Had the most beautiful tiled floors.
Yeah.
So remind me to give you those photos.
Yeah.
My mum's like, why are you taking photos of the floor? I'm like, Jane will love it. She'll probably make a quilt. And even my mother, who obviously knows me, did look at me like, have you completely...
Yeah. It took Glenn a while to get used to me taking photographs of the floor. You know, we'd go into like these beautiful buildings and I'd be taking a picture of the floor and he'd be like, what are you doing? I was like, there's a patchwork block here.
Yes.
Now he's like quite used to it, and in fact he'll go, you're taking a picture of this floor? Everybody else, is taking pictures of the stained glass windows and the architecture.
All the normal stuff.
Yeah,
We're
right.
rippling around on the floor. I think this is now normal. Normal behaviour, Jane.
Yeah.
Which is worrying.
There is a lady out there, she's written a whole book about the tiled floors made into patchwork.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel better then.
She came and did a talk at our Quilters Guild. It was fascinating. So you'll have all the pairs together and then you'll join the pairs together, and then you need to make half square triangles for the corners, and you make two one way and 2 with the other, the contrast. You can see now how that's coming together. I don't have any more of those blocks. No. So half square triangles, your background fabric and your pattern or your contrast fabric, you're going to mark a diagonal across from corner to corner on your background fabric. And place those right sides together, and we're going to sew 1/4 inch either side of the line.
Right. Okay. Jane, I'm making a decision. Jen will be like, oh, for them.
And then we're going to cut those in half along that marked line. So 1/4 inch sewn either side, and cut in half along that line. And then we'll press those open. Seam to the dark side, really, darker side. Whichever, because if you're doing the Liberty version, it'll be to the background fabric, but on not to the background fabric, to the pattern fabric. On this one, I'm doing it to the background fabric.
I'm just clearing this with everybody. Right. Okay. The overwhelming consensus is Gemma's just writing up. I've just set them live. Gemma's busily writing all the stuff. But anybody that's buying off this show knows that these are a pre-order opportunity.
Yeah.
The stock is designated for us. It is being shipped to us. But with the shipping, please bear in mind it is estimated for end of April. So we will say a May delivery on these. Okay?
Yeah.
There are no more. Unless they find some in their warehouse hidden away, there are no more. They are not making any more of these cutting mats. They are not cheap, but
No,
my
they're
goodness.
an investment, and they're a good investment to have in your sewing room.
These have lasted us years.
Yeah.
Well, whilst no self-healing cutting mat has ever lasted us as long as these have. Ever.
Well, no, because you tend to get a groove, don't you?
Yeah.
Cut into the...
Yeah.
Which has worked really well for our electric scissors, but
Yeah.
not for when you're cutting piecing.
So if you are ordering these from us today, please know these are not going to be sent tomorrow. These have got to come from America. In the warehouse in America at June Taylor, they have our name on it, which always blows my mind a bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It does blow my mind a bit that somewhere in America, in a place that we don't know, there is stuff with our name on it, and they know it's coming to us.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are happy to set those live. Because you've heard us today. So if you have registered your interest, they are available for you to buy today. They are $69.99. You will never be able to buy them again. Once we've had them, we've got them, they've got them. That's it. They're not going anywhere else. They're not going to anybody else.
Amazing. That's fabulous.
And the last time that we bought these in, we had all the stock that was imported, and they went in a day.
Amazing.
So if you've heard today and you want it, I'll hold a few back for those people that didn't watch, but it won't be many.
No. Well, you're not getting that many, are you really? And you'll want to keep a couple for...
Well, I mean, obviously, yes.
Because last time you got them in, you ended up selling yours.
I gave them to everyone. And can I just say, actually, when I did say that the other day, we had a couple of emails from people that had bought them going, would you like mine back?
Oh, that was so kind.
It was so kind and so sweet. No, I will. And this was at what point we emailed and went, are you sure they don't have any tucked down the back of the sofa in the warehouse?
Yeah.
Like, please get them to look, because we will have anything they have.
Yeah.
But I was so touched, so thank you. And yeah.
So what will happen with these borders is, again, you'll keep a couple of the 3 triangle units unsewn into pairs, because one will have one starting with one colourway, and then the other row will have one starting with the contrast colour. So, and then when you do your side ones, your half square triangles, so you'll sew those to top and bottom as we did before. Then your side ones, you will have a row of blocks, and you will sew a half square triangle on one end so that it matches up. Let's put this one on here. And they'll both be the same, like so. And that is so that when you turn it round and put it on your block, you'll have the 2 contrast ones at the top or the bottom, and the 2 pattern ones at the bottom or the top, depending on which way round you've done it. Which feels weird, but it has to be like that so that the pattern continues round. You'll see it clearly in the pattern. So on this corner here, I would put that contrast one because it carries on that brick effect there. In the other corner, where you've got, you'd have that one going against it. It makes the same. I'm just trying to look. No, it doesn't. It's the opposite way round. Haven't got one with a... Yeah, this one would be in the corner. So that one would go like that to make that brick effect there.
Amazing.
And it would be against... It would be against a big yellow one like that. But that would be the other way up. I'm not sure explaining that very well at all. I'm going to stop because I'm making it more confusing.
Ah.
But you'll see how the pattern emerges as it works, as it goes round. Because the opposite way, it would be that way, you see, in the other corner, with those going against. That one would be against there. And so that patterned one would sit in that corner. That's how it goes in the opposite corner. So that's the frame on here. And that one would be there. And that's how that's going to look as we go round.
This is looking fabulous.
And
Jane, I love our viewers. I really do. So was like, Tash, you need to take a couple of mats for yourself. I'm like, oh, don't worry, that's already accounted
That's already
for.
organised.
I'm not making that mistake again.
No.
No, that generosity has left the building.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. This
Sacrifice
is looking rather
now
fabulous. Look at
is
this.
gone. So then it's a straightforward frame again. So I'm thinking we'd frame it with the pomegranate, like so, and then we frame it with the pattern, like so, and then I would bind it again with this colour, but you could bind it with this colour. You could decide. You might want to bind it with the midnight. You'd need to buy more midnight, I think. But that's the effect that this pattern, this fabric kit will achieve with the same pattern. And you can see how different that looks, but how fabulous it looks as well.
Right.
It's not complicated.
It's not.
It just gives a lovely effect.
We have 5 of these kits. And I say that actually, I don't know if any of them sold. What's this quilt called again, Jane? Just
Walled Garden.
Walled Garden. The cutting mats were already selling, so well done, by the way, if you wanted those. They are now live. They've literally gone live and already ping, 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 ping. Yeah, we have got 5 of those quilt kits available in this colourway. So, yeah, isn't it gorgeous? It's just glorious and beginner friendly. I mean, what more could you ask for?
I was going to say, it's not a complicated quilt to make. There's just a few things where you just have to be a bit careful, like these side borders when you come in to join them together, but I'm hoping I've made it quite clear in the instructions how
and
to do that.
Visually,
Yeah.
it's going to be...
You've got the photographs there that you can see how that works. Yeah, I love this colourway. Just saying.
Hashtag just saying. Hashtag
That's going to look
saying.
fabulous. It's quite dramatic, isn't it, compared to the summery prettiness of the one that we've already
Would you
done.
like to give it the dramatic exit sign there, Jane?
Put that on there. I'm going to show it. Oh, yes.
That was my daughter all last week, not going to lie.
Bless her.
Goodness gracious me. This is a rather stunning one.
When I did quilting on mine, I played with my long arm, but you could do it free motion on your machine.
Or just straight lines.
Created the petal effect. Now, to the lady that was saying, well, I just use my walking foot, that's fine, because you can still get curves with your walking foot.
Yeah.
So you could
That's
do...
lovely, Cynthia.
Yeah, you could do curves in your triangles to create shapes. You could do curves, gentle curves around that shape there, just to create that petal shape. So your walking foot, you can still create curves with your walking foot. In the middle bit, you could just do a cross hatch if you wanted to, with straight lines. And then in the ditch around your frames. If you didn't want to do any pattern, any quilting over the top of these ones, just quilt through in the ditch where the blocks join. You don't have to do lots, and you could just quilt through the diagonal lines on these, just round the edges. So it doesn't have to be all fancy free motion for a beginner person who doesn't feel confident enough to do that. Just quilting in the ditch through the frames, and then just maybe going through the diagonals on here, and just through the blocks between the flowers would be enough to hold it. So you don't have to go, it's still beginner friendly, quilting wise.
Auntie Lizzie says, I sent Jane a photo of a Dutch antique rug once for
Yes, she
inspiration.
did. She did.
I love this. We're all as mad as each other.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect.
Yes,
Absolutely
I love
perfect.
it.
And Kate said, yes, she would buy a mat now.
Yeah.
Well, the mats are available. The mats are good to go in terms of placing your order and securing them, and they'll come in when they come in from America. Don't expect them for a couple of months, but just know that we'll get them out to you.
They'll be there as soon as they come in. We'll get them out to you.
Them. In fact, Jane, do you know what we can do? We can start saving cardboard boxes for packaging them.
Might do that already. I've done that already.
I know. It's like
I'm a bit of a cardboard hoarder. You never know when it's going to come in handy, particularly for the creative grid rulers.
I have seen all of those stacked on top of the...
I know, nothing gets past you, but you know why it's there. It's not just...
That's why I didn't say anything.
I'm not just loading the warehouse with flammable print material.
It just made me laugh quite a lot. I'm like, oh, Jane's been wobbling, because the Tilda bolt middles are your favourite ones.
Well, they fold out. You don't have to... They fold out and they've got little notches in them, so they fold back together again. Just work perfectly.
I love that we know each other so well now. It's like, oh, that's what Jane's doing with those. Mind you, do you remember when Inga once wrapped one in and forgot to actually write on the bolt middle?
Yes.
That was where they'd put
the ruler. And the customer was just like, you sent me a load of cardboard. We're like, yeah, but your precious ruler's inside there.
Yeah, no, you haven't sent the ruler. We're like, no, we really have. Luckily, she hadn't had a bonfire with
chucked all the packaging away
like that. Hadn't gone in the recycling, so she was able to find them.
Yeah.
These cutting mats for your boots. This quilt bundle, we only have 5 of this particular one. With the Liberty one, which has that ridiculous offer of buy the front and for a tenner extra we'll give you 3 meters of Liberty fabric for the back.
Yeah.
When that offer's gone, that has gone.
And I mean, even if you don't want to make the quilt, a bundle of fabric like that is just amazing.
You could redo an entire room.
Yeah,
couldn't
you could. You could make curtains with your 3 metre piece.
You could do curtains, or you could do a duvet cover.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, you don't have to restrict yourself to a quilt if you don't like the quilt. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Bag linings.
Yeah.
It suddenly becomes bag lining
Yeah.
territory, doesn't it?
Yeah, fabulous. Open my bag and look at this
Actually,
gorgeous fabric.
These greens work so beautifully with the wax.
Yeah, they
So
do.
well done to those of you, and with the
You've got
with the
this-
cork as well.
Look at this wax with this.
Oh, do you know what? We should actually shout about this a little bit. So
That's
yesterday
gorgeous.
we had a pre-recorded show because I still need to hammer those in because we had our monthly Natasha Makes Designs workshop. So if you want to become a member, that's on the members section of our website. $6.99 a month. You get a Zoom workshop with me every month. There are patterns and stuff and all sorts of videos and things on the subscription area, which we are set to add to substantially actually over the next couple of months. So hold on to your seats for that. But yesterday we made 2 things in our workshop. By accident, actually, we only meant to make 1, but Josh had told them the wrong thing, so people had prepped for, so we just did 2. And that's how relaxed and laid back it is, it was fine. So we made the Easy Wax Shopper,
This one.
but look how beautiful in the forest green that looks. That could be lined in Liberty, so you'd have your Barber waxed outer.
And then this would be on the inside.
Could you imagine? I mean, come on, Jane.
How lovely would that look? And because it's, you know, you're getting the bargain that you're getting, you don't mind using it for lining, do you?
Well, that's just it, isn't it?
It's fabulous. You get, ooh, look at that. That's what my bag would look like inside.
Barber and wax, just incredible.
Barber and Liberty.
Well, if you look at Izzy's bag,
Yeah.
that's
Got
lined in a Liberty,
That's got Liberty in it.
and that's so special.
Let's see. You see that? It's a lovely bag. But again, this.
Yeah,
Too-
and with the
Happy with
corks
that.
as well.
Yeah.
What if you did the boxed bag? You'd be able to make a series of those big box bags
Absolutely.
with cork lined in various different Liberties,
It would look gorgeous.
wouldn't it?
It would.
So we made that bag, and then we also made...
You made the wash bag, didn't you?
Yeah.
This one.
I don't know where the one is that I made yesterday. It's already gone.
I think it's over there.
Oh, it's over there. Yeah. But so we made 2 things yesterday.
Beautiful.
Perfect for beginners. Next time, do you know what we're doing next month? We are going to make a ruler bag for the
That's going to slide off.
stripology ruler.
Oh, nice idea.
Just so that you know. And well done to those of you that made the most of the 3 for 2 that we had on wax over the weekend and yesterday. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Apart
Not
from
much
wax
left
fabric,
now.
I've had a good sort out. Have you
Yeah.
seen, yeah, you've seen my sorting out.
Yeah, it's good.
I say I had a good sort out. Josh had to.
Hoik it because it's,
Yeah.
it weighs a lot.
It
Izzy
did
and
weigh a lot.
Izzy and I double end it sometimes
And when
because
I-
it's so heavy.
When I told him what we had to do with it, he went and put his shorts on because it was like gym workout.
Yeah.
He
A bit of weightlifting.
He's like, and now it's spring, so I shall now be in my shorts forever.
He went out yesterday, didn't he? The grass was still frozen and he was walking around with his flip-flops and
today.
his shorts on.
Yeah. Well, he was on bunny rescue, to be fair.
Yes.
He didn't have time to put his boots on. At the weekend, I made him dredge the duck pond because the ducks went back in their duck pond, and he was out in his shorts and his wellies. He looked like Christopher Robin.
Robin.
It's like, this is an interesting new look.
Oh, bless him.
It's like, it's spring, that's it.
Shorts on.
Whatever.
Everybody else has got double scarves,
Yeah, of
extra
course.
layers.
Josh said it is spring, therefore the shorts are out. Crazy man. Tomorrow, everybody, the sad news is I have a funeral to go to, but the good news for everybody is that we're going to have a sales show, sample show, sales and chart samples.
Nice.
Whip, 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 whip.
Lovely.
We're going to whip through it all, and away you go.
Super.
Boom. Jane, why is everyone panicking about Facebook not holding onto their videos for very long?
I don't know because I don't know. Is other people that have just got them only on Facebook?
Oh, so we always have ours on YouTube.
I was going to say ours are loaded onto YouTube,
and
aren't they?
have been from the day dot. So I know somebody sort of messaged us going, "Oh, are you worried about something?" Well, I don't think there's anything to be worried about because all of our videos are on YouTube and will stay there forever and ever.
Yes, they will.
Yes.
Whether we
Mistakes
like
and
it or not.
Warts and all. Was it Auntie Liz that calls us warts and all sewing?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that sounds ideal, but
No.
we get what you mean.
Yeah.
We like to
We
think
make
of
the
our
mistakes so you don't have to. That's
They
what
are
I always
learning
say.
opportunities,
Yes.
Jane. Learning opportunities. Jane, hang on. That forest green wax. We had very few greens, didn't we?
Yes.
That forest green wax next to that panel.
Yeah. Romantic. Gorgeous, isn't it?
So if you bought the quilt, you'd have some of that, wouldn't you, left over in
A
the
little
stamp
bit, yeah.
the stamp form.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Things.
Right, we're gonna go. We will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Be fabulous. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you want a June Taylor cutting mat, please pre-order. Because unless they find some more, then we have all the stock.
That's it. There is no more, as they
There is
say.
no more. And I'm going to have a couple for myself.
Got to keep them.
I'll keep one under the bed so I'll keep it flat. For
Yeah,
when I
it's
need
a good
it
idea.
in like 10 years' time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So if you'd like one of the mats, please get them. And please, 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 you know, I cannot make it any clearer in terms of we have the only stock that June Taylor have left in their warehouse.
That's
It.
amazing.
Simply because Joann's is shutting in the States. They are the largest carrier of their goods. So
Yes.
they are, as a result of that, streamlining what they keep making. Because if you haven't got any, you can make all you want, but if you haven't got anywhere
Where to sell it. No.
it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
So it's a very sensible move
Yes.
on June, but sad for us. So, if you'd like it, and I know that some of you are saying, well, that's my budget for the month. Yeah, but
Yeah, but it's not going to last you for years and years.
I always think stuff like that, it's not sexy.
No, but it's a good investment.
But my goodness, can you make some gorgeous things through having the right tools?
Yeah, it's like having your stripology, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's an investment,
Yeah.
but it really, a quilt like this would be done in zippity snip because it's just
Exactly.
easy.
Yeah, the right tools for the job. That cutting mat I cannot recommend enough, which is why I was so sad. Which is why I'm putting, like, it's a big investment for me to buy everything they have left.
Yes. Yeah,
Like little us.
it is true.
But we blinking well will. And if they find any more, I'll let you know.
Cool.
But for now, what we've got is what we've got. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely rest of the day. And, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love. Thank you very much, Jane, for another beautiful quilt.
You're welcome.
Take care, lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.